Welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be tackling something on the Audi TT Mark II, especially the ones with an EA113 engine, which comes on the BWA engine, also in the TTSs, which have a cam follower. So this is a new cam follower and we are going to be changing this today. If you don't change your cam follower in time, it will make a hole basically in the top of it, and then it will damage the camshaft, which has the lobe on the end, and then you'll be in for a very expensive bill. On my car, I changed it I think about 20,000 miles ago, and it is stage 1 remount, so it'll be interesting to see what 20,000 miles has done to the one that I previously fitted. Your cam follower will be behind this. This is the high pressure fuel pump, and the cam follower will be on the other side of it in there. So we need to remove this, which case was unplugging this, removing this and letting off any pressure in the system already, because this is a valve, undoing this one here, and then finally removing these 3 bolts here. And the reason you have to remove this is to get to this one. Let me just show you the tools that you're going to need to do this. A 13mm spanner, a 17mm spanner, a ratchet extension and a T30 Torx, along with a torque wrench. And I recommend getting some engine assembly lube as well, just so you don't wear out anything prematurely. And the parts that you need: new O-ring, 3 new bolts and the cam follower. Right, so now let's start getting the old one off and see what damage it's actually had in the last 20,000 miles. It might be absolutely fine, but it'll be just interesting to see. And while I've got one, I'm going to pop it in anyway. First things first, let's just disconnect these 2 connectors. Like so. So what we want to do now is relieve the pressure from this valve. There will be fuel coming out of it, so I'm going to put that rag down there just to stop it from going everywhere, and then just unwind the cap, get a little screwdriver and just relieve the pressure. Right, so that should be the pressure out. Right, so now we need to undo this 13mm valve to get it out the way. And just put your rag out there just to get any excess fuel that's deciding to come out. With the 13 now out the way, it gives us a better view to get this one off, and to get how we can get to this bolt. So let's get that 17mm off there. Right, so now with that removed and that out of the way, we can actually start getting onto these. There is a hose there, but that should give us enough flex to pull this out to be able to put the new cam follower on. So with our T30, let's start getting these undone. You'll notice the pump moving as you undo it. I'm finding that this PCV is in the way, and it's sort of stopping it from coming out as far as I want. So what I'm going to do is just move that out the way like that. So now, as you can see, is now ready to come out, and we can see the cam follower in there. Right, so that is the cam follower out. So that is what 20,000 miles has done. So let's just compare that. That's the inside of it. That's the outside of it. And there's the new one. So it's taken the black coating off already. See, it's got that nice little black coating still on it. And obviously no marks inside. And this one has. So I wouldn't say it's gone all the way through and it's really bad, but I'm glad I'm changing it anyway because it is showing signs of wear already. So happy days, we're changing it. So with the pump all out at the moment, I'll probably just give this a little clean up in here. And we're going to be replacing this seal as well, because we've got this nice new blue one. Right, let's get that seal on. So I'm just using a little bit of the engine oil just to lube up the new seal. That's the new seal on, and now I'm going to show you what we're going to use the assembly lube for. So there is our new carrier, and we do not want this going in there and being dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a load in there, get it all in there, and basically coat the whole thing in assembly lube. And now we can just pop that. Try not to use any resistance, just let it find its own way in, like that. Alright, so that's all in. Nice bit of lube on there, and I'm going to wipe a bit of lube just on the end of that as well. Now we're ready to push the pump back in. If you don't have any assembly lube, you can just use some engine oil, but I just prefer to use assembly lube for this. Push the pump until it feels like it's seating correctly, and whilst holding it, start getting the bolts in. You'll notice that the new bolts have bigger heads, and the lower bolt does get stuck. With a little push, it does get past it. Right, so now we've got those bolts in, we need to torque them to 10 Newton meters. So this is where the torque wrench came in, so let's get those torqued down. So with those all torqued down now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reconnect that 17mm at the bottom, and then put that valve back in, plug everything, turn the engine on quickly and off, or let it turn over, and then just re-torque those bolts again, just in case the camshaft was on a high spot when we talked. There is a torque setting to this, but I can't get a torque wrench in there, so I've just basically nipped it and just done it a bit tight. Do not over tighten it, because it is only a brass connector and it will strip out. So just give it a nice little nip, but you know it's not going to sort of work its way loose. So I know that that's tight. Right, now let's get that valve back in. So I'm just going to try and let the engine just rotate very quickly, just in case that camshaft is on that high spot that we spoke about, and then I'm just going to check those torque on those bolts. And that's all I want to give it. So let's just check those torques again, just to make sure they're okay. So we can just loosen that off again. Oh, obviously we've got fuel pressure there already, but we have to remove that so we can get to this bolt. Let's just give it a little check. Right, now it's all nice and torqued up and we've double checked it, we can now put that valve back in. Like that. And with our 13mm, just snug that up. Put the cap back on. Plug our sensors back in. And that's that. So what I'm going to do now is actually start the car properly. I might have faults for disconnected. I will clear those if that is the case. But let's just see if we've got any leaks. And remember to connect your PCV hose. Is job done. Doesn't take too long to do, and it's well worth doing. Let's just have another little quick look at the old cam follower. And that was a brand new follower 20,000 miles ago. So you can see it has started to take that top coat on. So I am really glad we actually checked that. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and we'll be talking more TTs.